A massive federal investigation has targeted the Tucson border sector, resulting in multiple arrests of sworn personnel. 18 individuals have been indicted in what officials are calling a catastrophic breach of border security protocols.
A decorated Border Patrol supervisor sold his agency's blind spots to the cartels, exposing thousands of federal agents for $22 million in crypto. This wasn't a cartel infiltrating the border. This was the border being franchised to the cartel. But when agents breached his hidden compound, the evidence inside went much deeper.
The compromised data allowed smuggling networks to track federal agents in real time.
At 4:10 a.m. in 42-degree desert air, FBI, SWAT, and DHS Office of Inspector General tactical units stacked up along a ridgeline in the Tucson foothills. The target sat below them, a high-end stucco home registered to a shell company called Apex Logistics Solutions. From the outside, it looked like any other quiet property in a gated subdivision. Manicured gravel, desert landscaping, a two-car garage with the doors sealed. Agents moved through the yard in silence. The neighborhood power grid had been selectively bypassed to kill exterior lighting and security cameras. If this trail leads where investigators believed it did, subscribe now so the next case file lands the moment it drops. At the front door, the hydraulic ram locked into position. The reinforced steel frame gave way in 45 seconds. Agents swept the interior in under 2 minutes. 0 occupants, 0 resistance, and 0 signs that anyone had ever lived here. The house was pristine. No furniture, no personal belongings, no dishes, no clothing, no photographs on the walls. Just heavy-duty industrial air conditioning running at maximum output, pushing the interior temperature down to 60 degrees. The space hummed with a low, constant electrical vibration that agents could feel through the soles of their boots. The systematic absence told its own story. No beds, no kitchen appliances, no bathroom supplies. Every room was stripped to bare tile and drywall, yet the electricity bill told a different truth. Utility grid logs obtained during the pre-raid investigation showed this empty house pulling 18,000 watts continuously, enough to power a small commercial building. FBI technical agents deployed a forward-looking thermal imaging scanner and aimed it at the concrete garage floor. The ambient room temperature read 60 degrees. The garage slab glowed red on the monitor, radiating heat from something massive running beneath it. Investigators traced the anomaly upward. The exterior HVAC units had been retrofitted with commercial-grade acoustic baffles, designed to suppress the noise of industrial cooling systems from anyone walking past on the street. Someone had built this house to pass every visual inspection while hiding its true function underground. The order came through the radio at 4:38 a.m. Cut the slab. A diamond-tipped concrete saw bit into the garage floor, throwing sparks as the blade hit reinforced rebar layered 6 inches deep. This wasn't a suburban residence. This was a subterranean fortress engineered to be invisible. The concrete dust hung in the air as the hydraulic winch locked onto the severed slab, cables straining under 800 pounds of steel-reinforced flooring, and began to pull upward. Beneath the garage, a steel staircase descended 12 feet into darkness. The first agent down reported the glow before he reported the room. Rows of green LED indicators blinked in steady rhythm, cutting through the black like a pulse. Cooling fans roared from every direction, filling a 20 by 20 foot concrete vault with a mechanical hum loud enough to mask footsteps. The air tasted like ozone and hot electronics. 4 military-grade server racks stood bolted to the floor in a tight grid formation, each one hardwired into fiber optic trunks as thick as a garden hose running through conduit buried in the walls. Next to the racks, a fireproof safe sat open. Inside, vacuum-sealed bricks of United States currency stacked to the brim, sorted by denomination, and labeled with handwritten dates. Beside the safe, a workstation displayed a live satellite uplink interface and a row of untraceable crypto hardware wallets still powered on. FBI forensic technicians moved fast, and they had to. Agents quickly realized the servers were rigged. A dead man switch had been wired into the primary power supply, designed to trigger a full drive wipe the moment the vault door was breached without a biometric scan. The tech team intercepted the circuit with less than 90 seconds to spare, physically cutting the relay before the erasure protocol could execute. What they preserved on those drives changed the entire trajectory of the case. This wasn't a hidden room. It was a shadow dispatch center built to track the people sworn to protect the border. The first forensic image pulled from the primary server contained 412,000 individual GPS location pings. Each ping corresponded to a federal agent, a marked patrol vehicle, or a tactical communications relay station operating somewhere along the southwest border. The data was live, updated and organized by sector: Tucson, Yuma, El Paso. Every shift rotation, every checkpoint handoff, every mobile unit redeployment logged and time-stamped with 60-second precision. But the raw data was only the beginning of a much larger pattern. FBI Cyber Division analysts and DHS Office of Inspector General forensic teams began working the drive images in parallel. A recurring authentication marker surfaced within the first hour of analysis. A credential labeled Protocol Echo 9 appeared in the server handshake logs every time the GPS feed refreshed. The same credential appeared in mirrored data recovered from a second location in Yuma, Arizona, then a third, in El Paso, Texas. All three nodes showed identical architecture, identical data feeds, identical compromised patrol routing information. The pattern was unmistakable. This was a template. Cartels were not guessing where Border Patrol units operated. They were subscribing to a live tracking feed, paying through a shell company called Apex Logistics Solutions that routed every transaction through offshore cryptocurrency exchanges. One raid had become a map, and the map pointed to whoever had the clearance to feed those servers without triggering a single internal alarm. The mechanism behind the feed operated with the precision of a commercial software platform. First, cartel brokers initiated monthly cryptocurrency subscriptions, routing funds through Apex Logistics Solutions, and wallet addresses designed to fragment transactions into untraceable microdeposits. The payments averaged $1.8 million per month, collected from at least 4 major trafficking organizations operating along the Southwest Corridor. Second, an insider with administrative clearance inside the Tucson sector headquarters activated a diagnostic mirror on the DHS Tactical Communications Architecture, known internally as TACCOM. The mirror duplicated the entire GPS tracking layer, every patrol vehicle coordinate, every relay station ping, every shift rotation timestamp, and pushed the duplicate feed to an external endpoint without generating a flag in the internal audit system. Third, an automated script running on the Subterranean Tucson servers received the mirrored data every 60 seconds and rebroadcast it to encrypted smartphones held by cartel logistics commanders operating from safe houses in Sonora and Chihuahua. The commanders then sold guaranteed clear corridors to human smuggling syndicates willing to pay premium rates for passage confirmed free of federal presence. This wasn't a data leak. It was a premium subscription service for human smugglers, engineered to look like routine system maintenance from the inside and completely invisible from the outside. The diagnostic mirror could only be activated by someone with a specific tier of access. This wasn't a field agent. This wasn't a station supervisor. The system required a senior communications coordinator embedded in the sector logistics backbone, trusted enough to run unscheduled TACCOM maintenance without triggering an internal affairs review. FBI investigators found that person in the server logs before they found him in the building. Marcus Reyes, a 19-year veteran of the agency, top secret clearance holder. Decorated twice for interagency coordination excellence. The man who trained incoming dispatchers on the very system he had been quietly hollowing out for years. Reyes held singular authority over TACCOM diagnostic functions at the Tucson sector headquarters. Every Friday at 2 in the morning, his biometric credential authenticated the script that kept the shadow servers fed with live agent coordinates. His colleagues trusted him. His supervisors relied on him. Sector Command had placed him in the one role that made the entire subscription architecture possible. Forensic analysts traced the credential Protocol Echo 9 directly to his administrative profile. The login had been used exactly 8,400 times across a 31-month period. Each use represented a deliberate, authenticated session, a conscious decision to mirror the data, delay the security patches, and manually delete the audit trail entries that would have exposed the feed. Investigators recovered an encrypted audio file where Reyes confirmed to a cartel intermediary that a patrol unit had been diverted from a high-value crossing corridor, 8,400 times. This wasn't a lapse in judgment. This wasn't a moment of weakness. It was a second career running parallel to the one protected by a badge. The credential was mapped. The insider was identified. but the analysts pulling the wider data were already seeing nodes that stretched far beyond one man and one city. The DHS Office of Inspector General launched a 12-month forensic review of the entire southwest border communications grid. Analysts pulled TACCOM access logs from every sector headquarters between San Diego, California and Del Rio, Texas, cross-referencing login patterns against the Protocol Echo 9 signature. The results confirmed what the Tucson servers had already suggested. Nogales showed compromised patrol routing data. El Paso showed compromised patrol routing data. 3 states, hundreds of miles of federal jurisdiction, and a single subscription architecture threaded through all of it. 18 corrupt brokers managed the software layer, maintaining the scripts, rotating the encryption keys, and onboarding new cartel clients. 4 major trafficking organizations held what investigators described as VIP subscriptions, paying premium rates for guaranteed real-time coverage of specific crossing corridors. More than 300 smuggling routes were certified completely clear of law enforcement presence before a single vehicle moved. The data was being accessed from IP addresses deep inside cartel-controlled territory in Sonora and Chihuahua, meaning the operational command centers purchasing the feed sat beyond the reach of any U.S. warrant. The financial trail matched the operational scale. $22 million in annualized subscription fees flowed through offshore cryptocurrency exchanges before washing through shell companies registered in Panama. The clean funds returned to the United States as real estate investments in Arizona, purchasing the very properties that housed the shadow infrastructure. Cartel logistics commanders operating untouchable command posts in northern Mexico relied entirely on the purchased DHS data to guarantee safe passage for premium clients, families paying smugglers tens of thousands of dollars for a crossing that would never encounter a checkpoint. $22 million generated by selling the safety of federal agents and the coordinates of every vehicle sworn to protect the border. But behind every number in that network was a name. 14 confidential informants working inside cartel stash houses had their identities cross-referenced against the compromised patrol schedules. Their handlers' extraction routes were visible on the feed. Their safe house locations were triangulated against the GPS data sold to the very organizations they were reporting on. One case crystallized the damage. A 19-year-old local informant had provided actionable intelligence on a stash house operating south of Tucson. The Border Patrol sector coordinated a tactical extraction to pull her out before the cartel could identify the source. The extraction team's coordinates appeared on the live feed within seconds of deployment. A manufactured distraction, a false sensor alarm triggered on a parallel corridor, delayed the team by 47 minutes. The cartel broker who received the feed saved the informant's last panicked radio transmission to his smartphone. Investigators found the audio file cataloged in a folder labeled Proof of Service. She was 19 years old. The system built to protect her became the instrument that exposed her. The operation to dismantle the network could not afford to move against one node at a time. Every server, every broker, every insider had to fall simultaneously. At exactly 5 a.m. on a Tuesday morning, FBI, DHS Office of Inspector General, and ICE tactical units hit 14 locations simultaneously across Arizona, California, and Texas. Breach teams moved through residential front doors, commercial office suites, and modified vehicle bays in a synchronized strike designed to mirror the conspiracy it was built to destroy. In Tucson, agents walked into the sector communications office and placed Marcus Reyes in handcuffs at his own desk, his credentials still active on the terminal in front of him. 19 years of decorated service ended with a federal marshal reading charges from a sealed indictment. In El Paso, 3 cartel brokers were pulled from a rented warehouse where encrypted relay hardware was still broadcasting live agent coordinates to phones across the border. In Nogales, a second communications technician was detained mid-shift, his access badge still clipped to his chest. 14 locations, 3 states, 1 coordinated morning. 18 individuals indicted on charges including money laundering under 18 U.S.C. Section 1956, wire fraud, and the deliberate compromise of classified federal tactical communications. Agents seized $14.2 million in cold storage cryptocurrency, 6 luxury properties purchased with laundered subscription revenue, and 3 heavily modified vehicles outfitted as mobile command centers. 3 of the arrested cartel brokers immediately agreed to cooperate, handing over decryption keys to the remaining server nodes that investigators had not yet cracked. The Tucson Shadow Network was dismantled in under 4 hours. But the cartel command structure in Sonora was never touched. No U.S. warrant reaches across that border. The logistics commanders who purchased the feed simply closed one account and began looking for the next insider willing to sell. 18 federal and civilian operators arrested. $22 million in illicit data revenue documented. More than 300 smuggling corridors blown open by a system that cost less to build than a single Border Patrol helicopter. This wasn't just about corrupt agents. This was about a border security apparatus that could be bought for the price of a server rack and a monthly crypto payment. The DHS TACCOM architecture still requires human oversight at every level, authentication protocols that depend entirely on the integrity of the person entering the credentials, oversight that can always be purchased. The indictments are sealed, the audit is ongoing, the vulnerability is structural. If the architecture has not changed, and the cartels are still recruiting, the only question left is who is holding the door open right now. Subscribe so the next case file reaches the top of the feed. Read the unsealed court records in the description below if the evidence matters to you.